Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Uncle Time, episode 1. And in this episode, we are going to be discussing the topic of why and how you should go to college, and maybe why college is not for you. College. According to Google, college is defined as college. College was something that was considered for the super rich. Is an educational establishment designed to provide education for a higher form of learning. There were no programs available where you get free money to go to school. And of course, we're talking back in history, but back for a long time, college was something that very few people did. However, those few people that did go to college back, 100 to 200 years ago, they were guaranteed to have a very good job and be very well educated on topics and things that the average person didn't know about. And that idea and that ideology, it still to one extent or another carries through today. A lot of times when we think about college, we think about people who go to college. We consider them to have an education, to know things, to their minds to be molded in a certain way and to be able to give you maybe an answer that the average person or maybe somebody who didn't go to college couldn't give. That may or may not be true, and there's a lot of things that can depend on that. For those of you who maybe are considering going to college, I want to talk about the path. A lot of times people go to college and they want to go into a field of study. It's my friend of mine, I know he went into computer engineering. And he jumped into the field of study without really doing enough research on not only what the field was about, but also the job market and opportunities. I would think that if anybody were to go to college, it would be because they would want to increase the probability that in the 4 to 6 years time, maybe 8 years for some people, once they get out, that they are going to be making a substantial or larger amount of money than what they would from a traditional job that did not require a college education. The thing is that when you're about to go to college, the first thing you need to do when you're choosing your path, you need to determine which topics of study will guarantee you a job and a good paying job once you finish whatever degree or whatever program that you're going into. People, and I know so many of them, that have gone to school for 4 years. Some have gone to school for 6 years. But usually the ones that just get bachelor degrees in these different fields. Once they get their bachelor degree, they go to try to apply for jobs and they can't get them. They have a very hard time because they chose a field of study where the job pool is very small or where getting just a 4-year degree, a bachelor's degree is not enough, okay? They need to get a master's degree. And a lot of times for them to go into the graduate program, maybe they don't have the grades. In order to get into a graduate program, you usually need to have a 3.0 GPA. Maybe they don't have the grades to get in there. Maybe they can't afford more time because they already spent so many years of their life, 4 to 5 years, just getting the bachelor's. To do another 2 to 3 years, they can't do it. Or a variety of other factors come up because usually when you start college, you're 18. When you're done with college, you're 22, 23 years old, life changes. Maybe you have kids now, maybe things have changed. Maybe you have a husband or wife when you're going to get married. Your situation is not what it was when you were 18. So you don't have the same freedom in your life that you may have had when you initially started. So you can't do those extra 2 to 3 years. There are a variety of different factors. You've got to choose a path, in my opinion, that is in the medical realm or the medical field, okay? The medical field will almost 100% guarantee you a job. And that is the thing. A lot of these careers, these 4-year degrees, they don't guarantee you anything. They guarantee you an education if you pass the courses that are assigned to the degree. But they do not guarantee you a job, people, okay? If you go to school for 4 years and become a nurse, guess what? You're going to have a job. If you complete the nurse test and everything and you have your nursing license, you are going to get a job. If you want it, it is out there, okay? if you go to school to be a doctor, a dental assistant, a pharmacist, all those job sectors, those jobs are always growing and they are needed, not just in the United States. Those are worldwide degrees. And if you have US-based credentials, you can use those credentials just about anywhere in the world. Okay? So by having that understanding, make sure that before you go into any field, do your research. Okay? Do your research. Do it hard and do it well. Don't go into something just because it sounds good. When I first went to school, I went to school for film. I wanted to go in for film because I love film. After my first year of college, I started learning about other things, and I said to myself, I said, maybe if I go in for film, maybe I'm taking a chance with my life. Maybe I could wind up with the film degree and not be able to find a good job because maybe the film school that I'm going to is not a good enough film school. Maybe I need to be in California and I'm, where I'm at right now, and maybe that was not the answer. So midway through my college career, I switched over to psychology and neuroscience and behavior because I had a school that was literally right down the street from me that looked at psychology and neuroscience as like a sort of biological science or a biology-based science, and that that would be a better opportunity for me. Nobody told me that. I stopped and thought and said, you know what? Maybe I need to go for more of the assured bet than take a chance at something that I may not know what the outcome could be. And that's what I did, people. I took the assured bet. I'm not a gambling man by any means. I ended up getting a 4-year degree. My degree was in psychology. I almost have 2 degrees, one in psychology and one in neuroscience. And I ended up using that degree, and I turned some of my neuroscience courses into biology-based courses, and I ended up going into education. And I had done that, and I had done that for several years. And I got into some other things. But the thing is that, though, when I was done with my college-based courses, when I went out looking for biology jobs, there are not that many biology teachers out there. There are not that many science teachers out there. So when I go out there to be a science professor, I got people calling me for jobs left and right. One time I went to four job interviews, and I got hired at 3 of the 4 jobs. I had my pick because I went into a field where the job market was small. I didn't expect to do that. When I was going for psychology, I didn't think that was gonna happen. But it ended up happening that way in my favor. I got very lucky that I thought that I did in the way that I did at that time, and I didn't pay for the price in the end. So that is a little bit of insight about myself. Now, another issue that I want to talk about. In this day and age, there is so many people get caught up with the type of college that they want to go to. Everybody wants to go to an Ivy League school. I mean, Harvard, Yale, And the reality is, guys, those colleges, the only people that go into those colleges, okay, their parents know somebody that works there. Their parents make a very, very large donation, okay? And then there are a very, very small, tiny minority of people that go to Harvard and Yale where they are just regular students that don't come from an extremely wealthy family background, and they just have good grades because Harvard by law has to choose so many students that don't get bought in, so to speak. So the thing is that when you graduate, it is more important that you have a degree, okay? A good degree at a school, at a college, than what it is that you go and get accepted into this college and just get any degree. I remember I was teaching at a high school, and one day there was a gentleman who came into the school. He was from Harvard. He had an education from Harvard. And I was very impressed because whenever you hear somebody go to Harvard, what? Harvard. Harvard is the best school in the world. That's how I've always felt about it. He ended up going into the school. He was talking to the assistant principal, and he says, hey, man, he says, do you think I can get a job here? He said, I don't know if this matters, but I got a degree from Harvard. Do you think that'll help me? And the principal looked at him and he said, well, it certainly wouldn't hurt. And I thought that that was absolutely hysterical, that here I am, a person that just went to a local school, got a 4-year degree and in a correct field, and another person who went to a school that everybody wants to get into, the best school maybe in the country, yet here he is without a job. So that goes to show you guys that are so adamant about choosing these specific colleges, you don't have to go to an extremely good college to guarantee you a job. When people are looking to hire you, they're not really looking for college. They're looking more, what have you done with your credentials in relation to the field of study or to the job at hand. They want to see what skills you have for the job more so than what college. The college is one thing on your resume. They don't even look at that. They want to know, what can this person do to contribute to this position? And if there's a credential that is required, they will look at that. And that's what you guys have to understand out there. Now, one thing I want to say, this is to the people out there that, maybe you're 18, maybe you're 38, and you want to go to college. Okay, you have maybe an associate's, maybe you have, maybe you have a GED, maybe you have a high school diploma, maybe you don't have either, okay? You want to go to college and you think that there is no hope. There are programs available that can guarantee you money, okay? You will have to pay that money back. Some programs, there are a lot of programs where you just get free money, grants. The government now more than ever gives free money for people who got to go to college. Why is that? Because our political people, the people that are in control of this country, they want the people that are in this country to be college educated. So they are willing to pay money out of what they collect from all of the taxpayers and take that money, fund it into federal programs to help you get in. You can always go to your local financial aid office, acquire financial aid. You can take that financial aid and you can get money to pay for your housing, get money and take a loan out to pay for your food, get grants to pay for your college classes. You can do it, all expenses paid, okay? Now, there are a lot of different things that can amount to that. Say that you have a kid and you're working a job. You know what? That's okay. You can still go and take 2 classes. You can work a job and take 2 classes, maybe even 1. That might seem like a slow way to chip at it, but I'm going to tell you, every class that you have under your belt is one step closer that you are to getting your college education. And that is just a little bit of insight and a little bit of academic integrity that I'm trying to install in you to let you know that no matter what the situation is, you always have a chance. We love you guys very much. If this video did anything for you, please subscribe it and please share. This is Uncle Time and Uncle signing out.